everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Quest for Truth Hidden Mysteries TV. I am your host, Corina Pataki, and I'm excited because I have my co-host today again, Karen Britt. Karen, so good to
Hey,
have you with me again.
yeah, I'm glad to be here. But before we get started, Karina, let's mention a few things you got going on. She's got the September. That's my retreat with Karina and Luke coming up September 24th through the 26th. So we're gonna have some more details coming out soon. So where you can RSVP for that, and also she's got another retreat coming up, her spring retreat, where got everything set up. You can go to the Facebook pages on the Quest for Truth, and Revolution is here if you're a member there, and sign up and RSVP for that session. So, Karina, what's the dates for that?
It's April the 28th and the 29th.
Yes, they have great things lined up for that. You can go and you're getting one on one with Karina. They're serving lunches, and also there's a two VIP tickets that you can get that it gets an extra day with Karina there, and the ladies that are having the event, and they're doing dessert and coffee, and you'll get a little bit more with the session with Karina there. Excuse me. So be sure to sign up for that. It's coming up very quickly, so we don't want you to miss it. So that's all I've got for your upcoming events, and we'll talk later after the show and just get you guys to know that we have Patreon and stuff and how to sign up there. But we want to get with Bianca and let her start her teaching.
Yes, yes, you guys, we're so excited. I've had Bianca on twice before, and the comments that we received, she's such an amazing teacher, and the explanation she does, people loved it. So for those of you that have not had the honor of hearing Bianca, I'm just going to share a little bit. Bianca Ruehlig is an amazing, amazing woman, you guys, that has such an ability, like I said, to teach and to show us the wonders that divine creator put inside of each and every single one of us. There's not one person that's more special than the other. We all have those abilities. And Bianca's so incredible as she teaches and shows us what is inside of us, how to access it, how to operate out of that. And she also does sound frequency and how to engage with the sound in order to bring about healing for your body. And she's actually created a tool that she will talk about that actually helps with that. And today, Bianca is going to go over some amazing things that I know all of you guys will love beyond and above the sound frequency, as if that's not awesome enough. But she's going to talk about the Christ Anointing, or the Christ Oil, the Christos. And you guys, she's going to unveil the next level of truth that is hidden in this mystery, and understanding the next level of what it is, how it's accessed in us, when, and how you can function out of that. So without further ado, Bianca, welcome. We're so excited to have you here with us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am very excited to be back as well. I loved doing the shows, and I was actually rewatching it again this morning, and I was relearning. We're always at different levels of perception. You can rewatch something that you saw yesterday, and you're already a different person. Every moment you're like jumping timeline. So you're a different person, and you can capture different things that you're meant to vibrate with at the time. Yeah. So I really appreciate that you have this platform. I'm just really excited. And this is what I love to do. I went through my own awakening, and I'm still going through an awakening. Yeah. Awakening is every time you open your eyes, you have this awakening experience of life. And what do we do with it?
Yeah.
As soon as you open your eyes, you are already in this presence. What do you do? And I've been able to learn about not only healing my physical, my panic disorder, stress, and things like that, but I've also been able to heal my emotional experiences, change my physical reality, my career, my life path, so that it is in tune, in alignment with what I feel I should be in. It's about feeling. It's not necessarily about thinking, logic, our left brain. We use it a lot. It's necessary, but it's not the only thing. It's only half. So what I do is I teach people the creator. the right hand side. That is, the right side is our creative side. So when we tap into this creative side, we unlock this gateway to everything. And what we're going to be going over is unlocking the pineal gland process, which literally physically drops a golden drop of honey down your spine. Like, there is a thing that actually happens. So, and that's why I've got this funky little spine photo back here, and I'm coming up with a calculator, and we'll talk about that in the after show. I want to share a couple things like the calculator and also some frequencies that can help with this process. But for here, what we'll do is we'll go over the, what it actually is. And so I don't know, where you want me to start, or we go over from the pineal gland.
Yeah, this is awesome. So, Bianca, for people that are watching, let's just start there. For people that are watching and they're like, well, how can I tap into the abilities and changing my realities? Because we've been so bogged down and so programmed in a matrix based on fear, control, coming from every angle, including specifically religion. So for people that are starting to wake up, how can they step into the next step of their awakening? Like, I hear you, Bianca. Wow, you're saying that you've done this. Now, how can I begin? What do I need to do? So let's begin there with your incredible drawing behind also.
Well, the word practice has the word act in it. A good example is I speak about a mini trampoline and rebounding. It's one of the best ways to clear your lymphatic system. You can clear any sort of blockages by bouncing on a trampoline for about 10 minutes. Now, I bought the trampoline 3 weeks ago. It is still in the original box by the door. So that, I brought myself to the water, but I'm not drinking it. So it's the matter of practicing. You must act. Yes. All the things I talk about, I must do it in order for them to continue to work. And that's really what it is we have this choice every day. As soon as you wake up, you can spend 5 minutes. You can spend 3 minutes. So it's about making better decisions, being aware. And as soon as you wake up, you are aware. You're aware of what it is that you are going to do. You set your day, you set every moment. And it's really about, knowing what it is and then making better decisions. But you've got to practice. You've got to do it.
Yeah. So what you're saying basically, Bianca, is choice. We all have choices, and the choices that we make choose us. In other words, we all have the ability to change our life, to change our timeline, to change the reality, but we have to make a choice to do something the moment we open up our eyes.
Yes, it's free will.
Yeah,
it is. Free will. And here's an example. You asked about tapping in. Everyone that goes to sleep is tapping in to their sleep world, right? That is what, 40% of 30% of our life, we are in another reality. When we wake up, and some of us remember our dreams, that's your first choice. Let's say you had a dream about, eating healthier. When you get up, do you choose to do something about it, or do you just ignore it? When you pay attention to these things that seemingly don't mean anything, when you start paying attention and being aware, they start making more sense. If you're got blinders and you're paying attention to your 9-to-5 job, or the reality show, what's next, or the sports, the season, who's winning, you are paying attention to everything else.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on in your own mind. So distractions is, you've got to untap from everything else in order for you to tap into yourself. But everyone has this ability. As soon as they wake up, you were just literally plugged into the dream world. Now, what do you do when you wake up? So it's a choice.
Yeah, that's so, and you were mentioning these distractions. And I just want to say this really fast. It's such an important word for us to understand, because in today's world, you have all these shows on TV, you have all these stupid reality shows. And Bianca, isn't it interesting how the powers that be, the ones that don't want humanity to awaken, put all of these different types of shows to pull us in, and we're so consumed by these stupid reality shows or whatever they are, it takes our focus off of us, off of what we need to do, off of being able to transform, and it keeps us bound as a slave in this matrix that it's creating by us engaging with it.
Absolutely. So a television, it tells your vision what it wants. It's a television program. It is programming you. You are no longer programming yourself. It is programming you. You flip the channels. You're channeling their program yourself.
Oh, that's
now
good.
You are drawing into their frequency, and you're literally tuned in. Now, as we know that what we are thinking in the back of our mind, that's what we're put out, right? We're putting out what we're seeing. And if what you're seeing is the reality shows and the real world and the fights and the pranks and the false news, that is what you're putting into your conscious mind. Now, what that's happening is, think of every thought, because we got 50,000 thoughts a day. Every single one of those thoughts are filed into like a little filing cabinet. But the only thing that you are accessing are the ones that you have focused on continuously, which drawer do you keep pulling from? And the more you do that, the more papers you put into that folder, that's the one that's going to be placed, in focus. So we've got this filing cabinet and everyone's filling it with stuff. And you, first choice, turn it off, or do you turn it on? I find myself scrolling. And once you scroll, now I accidentally put in my vision board in the back of my mind, someone's prank, someone's death, someone's distraction, someone's drama. I do not want any of that in the back of my mind. So it's a choice, because I do enjoy going through certain platforms, but when I start seeing things, you're like, wow, what did I just do? So you've got to counter it. It's about being aware, counter it and say, there are many things you can do to protect your energy, because it's a constant, I want to say, battle. It's a spiritual war, and we are the ones that are the target. So everything, our spirit is the target, and our spirit, what drives our spirit is our attention, our intention.
Yeah, that's so good. And just to piggyback on that, and then if you don't mind going in the back, the beautiful drawing that you have over there, because it's you guys, just get ready to have your note. I hope you have your paper and pen in hand, because we have, again, like I said, an amazing teacher here. But Bianca, there's a Christian song that I think everybody that grew up in church heard it. Be careful, little eyes, what you see. Be careful, little mouth, what you speak. Be careful, little mind, what you think. So this is something so important, because we have to be careful. We have to, because like you said, whatever you perceive, you create. So you guys, I just want to encourage you again. And as I say, every time we have a guest on, half of our audience is Christian, half of our audience is Christian. So you guys, if you're triggered, if you're, if you don't understand something, please, I encourage you, just stop for a minute, stop. And if you don't understand, put it on the shelf and then pick it up later. Every choice you make, you have a choice to make if you're going to engage with it from love or from hate, attacks, ugliness, low vibration. So what you're hearing here today is probably not going to fit in the religious box, which is okay, because we're supposed to go from one level of understanding, one level of glory to another one. That's called growing. That's called maturing. So what you're going to hear Bianca share, it's going to go beyond what you've heard. And I encourage you, please allow it to stretch you until you break outside of the box that you've been bound in. And if you cannot handle it, that's okay. Just keep engaging in love, because that's what Jesus said. That's the Father. That's the essence of divine creator. It's love. So with that, Bianca, jump in and just start teaching us, what is it that it's important for us to understand what is in us and how it flows out and what it does.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start with just an overview of the pineal gland and the brain, because this is all about that process. So the pineal gland is a physical gland in the middle of your left and right brain. It is physiologically the center of your head. In fact, when they do a scan, they look for that gland, the calcification of that gland. It is, if it's off to the side, then that's how they know maybe there's a tumor or something off with the brain. So it's center of your head, and it is actually in front of the pituitary gland. They both work hand in hand for this process that I'm going to go over. And the pituitary gland's well known, right? It's for hormones and controlling the rest of the body. But the pineal gland is actually its master. The pineal gland is the first source of light. You open your eyeballs, your eyes see light, it reports it to the pineal gland. The pineal gland then notifies the pituitary, and then they work hand in hand to tell the rest of the organs, hey, it's morning time to wake up. You need to do this hormone. You need to stop this secretion. You need to, it's controlling the rest of the body, which is why it's important. Gut health, heart health, everything must be tied back to mind health, mental health. Okay. And mental health is tied to spiritual health. Because when I talk about spiritual health, we're talking about the spirit. We're talking about the breath. Mind and breath work hand in hand. And that's what this is about. So what the pineal gland, also referred to as the third eye, it's referred to as the brow chakra, which you can see on the, between the eyebrows, but it's actually a physical organ that is secreting melatonin in the dark and serotonin when it's light. So that's its main thing. It's the circadian rhythm. It's your sleep-wake cycle. Now, what happens is this process starts every time the moon. So you've got your zodiac sign, right? I, for example, am an Aries. The moon is transiting over all the different zodiac signs every 29 and a half days. It follows basically our female cycle as well. So we have what we call our menstrual cycle, our moon cycle. Think of this as the solar cycle. This is a cycle that is about the son of man. And that's really what Christ is. The word Christ comes from Christos. Christos is the anointing. And when you are anointed, it refers to this oil. Now, what oil? It's not an oil that someone gives to you. This oil is anointed from within your brain, from your pineal gland. So you have this colostrum, Santa Claus, the holy colostrum. We'll go into that reference a little bit later. Because the story of Santa Claus going down the chimney is the story of the holy colostrum dropping this gold down your esophagus. It's the same thing. The Christmas tree is the tree of life, your vagus nerve. So you've got your holy colostrum. It secretes, it produces this secretion, passes through the pineal and the pituitary. The pineal, it creates this golden fluid, honey fluid, oil. And in the pituitary, it creates a milk-like substance. It is similar to colostrum, which is what is secreted during breastfeeding, right? So you've got the pineal, which is male, and you've got the pituitary, which is female. Who else was male and female that created the son of God called Christos, the seed? So we've got Mary and Joseph, magnetic and electric. And every time the sun is transiting over your moon, when the moon is transiting over your sun sign, for example, I'm an Aries. So this month on the 22nd and the 23rd takes 2.5 days. There are 2 days every month that this process, my brain secretes this drop of honey. And what I refer to it as the sacred secretion. There's a few videos that you'll find online, but I've just been diving a little bit deeper. And here's kind of an interesting story about that. So I actually have kind of a long tongue. I can reach the tip of my nose. When I started learning about the sacred secretion, I know of a practice called the Kichari Mudra. Kichari Mudra is when you stick your tongue to the back of your throat. Okay. When you do that, you can push the base of your pituitary gland. So because of my long tongue, I've been able to kind of reach up past my nasal cavity and almost taste this sweet manna.
Wow.
This this drop of life, right? Mm-hmm. So every 29 and a half days, when the moon is transiting your zodiac sun sign, your brain begins this process. That is the start. What this represents here is me trying to figure out how to put together a calculator so that someone can put their date in, their date of birth, and it can point out the general idea of where it is. And it's important to know where it is because that's your energy center that you want to harness, you want to clear, you want to unblock, probably want to do the entire thing. Now, let's go into the actual process and then why someone would want to do this, right? Mm-hmm. So again, let's say it was the first day. So on that first day, it drops from your pineal and it travels past your throat chakra. So between your brow, it passes by your throat chakra, and then it passes your heart chakra. And when it gets to your solar plexus, so it's good to have some idea of the chakras. Mm-hmm. When it gets to your solar plexus, which is also referred to as the manger, this is the birthing of the seed, the Bethlehem. That is the seed right here. There's a little cavern right here between your ribs, and this drop of oil forms into like a seed shape. And then it continues to travel and plants itself in the sacral chakra. The sacrum, the sacred space. This is where you've got the 5 bones fused together. And there's actually a lot of references that I did not prepare for. I'm actually getting all of that information so I can put it in the blog. But basically it plants itself there for 2.5 days. It does nothing. It's dead. It's dead for 2.5 days. And then on the third day, on the start of the third day, it starts rising again. What does that sound like? Oof. I'm getting goosebumps.
Me too.
So every single time I talk about it, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. So it starts to try to rise again. This is called the Christos. When it forms into a seed and it starts to rise, I had read something that the word Jesus is the reference to fish. Now imagine this, your cerebrospinal fluid is fluid. So imagine this little seed, this little fish trying to swim back up home to heaven. And that's what it tries to do every month. Every month, we have this opportunity, the crossing, the crucifixion, which is your vagus nerve that crosses at the nape of your neck. What that happens, and that I believe that this whole process is an opportunity for us to reach enlightenment, to be Christ-like.
Come on.
Right? And interestingly enough, one of the things I learned during this process, when this golden drop of honey, okay, if it makes it up, and the if is if it's clear, your chakras are clear. That means your ego centers are clear, that you are not living in ego, you're living in heart space. And that's why when you see the Jesus Christ depiction, you've got the heart surrounded by the crown, which is your brain, and it is right at the solar plexus. The solar plexus, the heart isn't up here in the heart. The heart's actually kind of here in the soul. So you got the heart, the crown, and the soul all forming here in the solar plexus. Now, when that seed, or when that seed makes its way back up to the pineal gland, it is called the tithing. Okay, tithing is returning 10%, 1/10. So we all know that, at least I remember you had to give 10% tithe back to church. It's not money, has nothing to do with money. Your juice, your brain juice becomes brain fuel. And 1/10 of this fuel is tithed back to your brain. Super fuel. This is now engine. This is now an upgrade. Now, every month you have the ability to upgrade. And this is something that, and that's why I think it's, Christ-like life. When you have these centers clear and you're living in service and in love and in goodness and in righteousness, then this is able to go up there and make its way. And the part that I'm at right now is, for one, I just recently stopped drinking 2 months ago. So I haven't had any alcohol since December. You cannot have alcohol in your system if you want to do this. Your acid in your body is going to dry up the fluid, and that fish cannot swim back up.
Wow.
You cannot lose your seed. And by that, it's about abstinence. The fluid here, the cerebrospinal fluid, I believe, is bone marrow. Now, hopefully I can say this on your show without getting the word boner comes from the fact that sperm comes from bone marrow. And all of us women, we have bone marrow that is able to produce this seminal fluid. It's the sperm that we lack, right? But we have this seminal fluid. So when you abstain, when you which keeps this juice flowing, and when you do not dry it up with the flesh of other bodies, right? So no meat, no alcohol, really 40 days and 40 nights. If you do 40 days and 40 nights, you are bound to hit this process. So, and I think that's where that comes into play. But, 40 days and 40 nights that's a long time, right? So what I'm trying to figure out, that's what all this calculation is. What I know for sure is, and you can go into, there's a book by someone called George Carey. He's written several books. The Word Made Flesh is one of them. Another is called The Tree of Life. And I have not read those two. I have them just saved. The one I have read is God Made Man, and that's what this is. This is my interpretation of those writings. And it really talks a lot about just the word itself, the actual word of word that means something. John means something. Oil. So everything in the Bible is a representation of us. Adam, it's our atoms. Eve represents evolution. Genetics is in Genesis. All of this, the crucifixion is the crossing of our vagus nerve. Ida and Pingala is the good thief and the bad thief when the crucifixion occurred. So this whole process, what I'm deducing, I guess, is at what point this is occurring, where is it right now for me, and what do I need to do to help it along the way? Because I'm ready for that next level. Yes. I'm ready for the next level. I need to stop eating meat completely, because I'm pretty sure that the acid from the flesh hinders this process. So, and that's, this is from my own research and my own testing. So luckily now I no longer drink alcohol. I know that this is, that's no longer hindering that. I practice abstinence. And so that is not hindering this. There's, you do not want to waste your seed. You don't want to waste your energy. Yeah. That, there's a lot of energy in your sacral chakra. That's the energy of creation, of life itself, that we have access to literally at our fingertips. We just have to restrain. It is about free will. It's about choice. What are we doing? I must choose to eat healthier, to be around nature, to do good things. And, hopefully by the next time around, I'll say, hey guys, this is how I made it to level 2. Here's what we got to do next. Yeah. So, but this is just, I absolutely love all of this stuff. And as far as I know, that's this process. Yeah.
Wow, Bianca, you guys, did I tell you she's an amazing teacher? I mean, every time we've had her on, this will be our 3rd time, people just loved it because you make it so easy and understandable for people to get these things that seem to be so mysterious, and they were mysteries, but are now being revealed because we are living in an age of the apocalypse, which is the great revealing. So you guys, if you see what Bianca's saying, it's not out there. Everything is in here. That's why the Bible says the kingdom is inside. And when we learn to tap in here into the things that are already in us, put there, created there by divine creator, and we allow that to flow out, it's going to transform absolutely everything from inside out. So
literally transform. You're
literally, right?
Literal transformation. physiologically, you are transforming brain juice into brain fuel. And that's that, unconditional love, that unlimited, whatever it is, that next level. And that's, it is what motivates me to say, hey, what can I do to be a better person? Yes. The Bible is like a reference guide.
Correct.
Okay. Like, we should be good people.
Right.
We shouldn't need laws to tell us how to be a good person. But it's just, it's a reference. And that's what people sometimes fail to see. And they get into this blinders of, oh, this is going to make me do this. Well, let's look and see and learn from everything. Either learn from it or go somewhere else. Look elsewhere.
Yeah. And I love what you're saying, because you're basically applying the Bible, not just reading it as, oh, this happened to this person and historical records, but you are actually saying, but the Bible is inside of you. In other words, like you're saying, Adam and Eve and, your DNA, Genesis, all of that. So when we start engaging in the reality, it's not this or this, it's this and this and this and this, because it's multidimensional understanding of all of these things that have been hidden, but now they're being revealed. And we engage in that, Bianca, like you said, it's a literal change, a literal transfiguration of who we are on our way of who we are becoming, right?
Exactly. Transform means to change your form. Yes. You are going from one form to another. Imagine it like you're leveling up in a game and your character just went from a 5 to a 6. You've got all these different attributes, your skill level, your speed, accuracy, whatever. You're literally being upgraded. And yeah, I'm ready for it.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I think we all are.
Yes.
And so, Bianca, for somebody that's watching and they're blown away, because I'm sure everybody that's watching is blown away. Is there a way that you can break down and say, okay, even though you did it, but maybe even more so people can actually engage with it. What must a person do? They're like, okay, I'm ready to do this. So yes, no alcohol, no meat. Are there any steps to how to, the first step? What, if there's a first step and a second step?
Well, I think right now the first step is here. We're on the first step. It's the awareness. Good. It's the knowledge. Now what? Well, I'm very logical. Again, my background is I'm a software developer, process improvement. I am also an Aries. So I'm impatient. I want things done efficiently. Yes. So I definitely want to know, like, at what point when it's here, what am I supposed to do? Right. So when I look at this process, say, okay, well, if it needs to go up, right, it needs to make its way back up and you need to clear this. Well, what does it need to clear? The root chakra is below the sacral chakra. So we don't even, not that we don't need to worry about that, but the first thing is, what chakra are we clearing to release this seed? The sacral chakra is about emotions. Yeah. Gut health is about emotional health. That is the emotion of anger. If you are angry at something or someone, girl, you are not going to be able to let this seed flow, because that hatred and that anger burns it burns the path. It can't even make it past the sacral chakra. It just kind of withers away here. I think that's when people have pains. They're like, oh, it's hormonal imbalance. It's pain here. No, because that's where the seed like died off maybe. So I would look into learn about the energy centers. The sacral chakra is about healthy creativity. Are you doing something that you love? Are you, do you have a hobby? Are you keeping yourself busy with something that is creative? So learning about the energy centers and then letting go of the emotions attached to it. Also, of course, the physical parts, gut health. We have full control over what we put in our mouth. Okay, we are in total control. So what are you putting into your gut? How much are you putting into your gut? We do not need these large plates. I mean, there's a Denny's opening near me. And I remember for $2.99, you get this plate. And it's like, I never would eat the whole thing. But it's like, am I supposed to eat it? Am I supposed to take it home and eat it? And so it's about control. What are we eating? What are we drinking? Now, what's next? So you got your solar plexus. solar plexus is about your pancreas, your liver, so your kidneys, and your spleen. So it's also about courage and self-esteem. Are you are you living and doing the acts that you want to do? So your creative side, the things you would like to do, your creativity comes from your sacral chakra, but the action of doing it, the energy of actually doing it, is from your solar plexus. So are you doing it? Are you living that courage, that lion? Are you letting it roar? Is it doing its thing? Whereas people, may have things that they want to do, but then they never do it. Well, then that's stuck right there. So that's when you could say, I feel stuck, because they're not taking that next step. And it's fears. It's usually fears. I think that's what it is. I have never found myself stuck and not knowing what to do, because I think that has a lot to do with our zodiac. I'm an Aries sun sign. I'm an Aries rising sign, meaning my ego, my personality is Aries, right? But my spirit sign, my ascending sign, is also an Aries. Wow. They don't argue. They're just like, they're pushing each other, going, hey, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So clearing the solar plexus would be the next thing. And then what's after that? Your heart. Oh my gosh. Woo. This is a tough one. Who do I need to forgive? Who am I angry at? What makes me sad and why? Those are the questions we got to ask. I want to create this mirror, actually, that you look into it and it goes through each one of the chakras and it asks these questions. What are you afraid of?
That's awesome.
The root chakra. Who makes you angry? Just going through those and then just peeling it off, letting it go. So the heart chakra is about forgiveness and self-love as well. And then you've got, this is a lot of stuff to clear, right? That's a lot of stuff to do. And then you've got your throat chakra, which is gossip, cursing. Did I speak ill of myself? Did I speak ill of my neighbor? Did I speak ill of that annoying business that's, bugging me? There's, Yelp alone. Yelp is a number one destroyer of the throat chakra. Next door is a number. Anything that promotes you to speak of other people, it destroys your throat chakra. There's absolutely no reason for any sort of speaking about anyone that is not there, whether it is in good terms or bad terms, because you're judging them. Who are you to say they're doing good? Who are you to say they're doing bad? Just don't talk about them. So, and that's why, as an Aries, again, my Mercury is in Aries, meaning my speech, the way I communicate, is in Aries. So I just need to shh a lot of times, literally have to bite my tongue. And I know that. I know my triggers. I know my challenges. I know I'm just, do this. So clearing all that and then allowing those energy centers to flow. Now, when it's flowing and there's fluid, the acid has not dried it up. You've got this little Jesus Christ coming up. The Jesus, this is the fish. It's a fish oil. That's what it is. It's coming up. And when it passes your throat chakra, it makes its way back to the brain. And when it hits the pineal and the pituitary, there is this halo that is enlightenment. The lamp within is turned on. You are tithing 1/10 of that juice is turned into fuel, goes into your brain. You are upgraded, level, whatever it is that's next. And you now have the opportunity. Now you're in a different role. I mean, every day you've got a new set of glasses. And this is a major set of glasses, So as far as I know, just be a good person. Be a good person, do the right thing. Take care of your vessel, take care of your mind, mind your own business. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And it's so awesome, Bianca, because basically what you're saying is the work really starts with clearing these energy centers that are in us. That's very, very important. And I know that there's for there's maybe some Christians watching that have been told that those are demonic, that those are, that's all the devil. And my little arena or platform, I've been trying to educate people. It's not. It's literally the energy of divine source that must flow through the portals. These are portals. We are a huge portal that has little portals. So Bianca, since the chakras are so important to be cleared in order for this process to happen, can you go into a little bit about the chakras again, really what they are, just so we can knock out any fear and taboo that is out there, because you're
Sure.
such an amazing teacher. So share that a little bit, because all of this has to do with chakras being cleared.
Yes. And sometimes I actually don't even say chakras or even energy centers. You can call them meridian endpoints, magnetic parts of the body. So you're a physical body, right? This is my skin. But what's in this? So it's already been founded that 99.99% of your cell is nothingness. It is the whole idea of the atom being surrounded by all that. That's actually not 100% true. They just don't want to change the science and the history books, because that's a lot of money to spend on documentation. I mean, you can see other people have spoken about this, that it's just too much work. So we keep teaching the wrong way. But basically, our cells are made of nothing, and this nothing is energy. It is a magnetic field, but like that image behind you, that's what we are. We're a magnetic field. Now, when you put enough of this magnetic field together, think of it like one piece of sand. You got one piece of sand, you can't really barely see it, right? Then you got a whole bunch of them in a pile, now you see it. Well, that's what we are. We're magnetic fields of sand. And we don't see the one, but we're a bunch of them. And what we attract to us that forms into this body is aligned on our center, our spine. And along our spine are 7 of these magnets. Think of them as magnets. So you're a computer that's created, put together, right? And covered in skin, but really you're a magnetic ball of energy. And the 7 chakras, they just refer to the 7 types of energy that are different parts of the body. So you got, like on a computer, you got the monitor. That's like the monitor is your third eye chakra. Okay. Maybe the processor is your heart chakra. The keyboard is your solar plexus. Like, are you at, or maybe it's your throat chakra, all the stuff you say, the mouth, so you are all of the chakras are just different parts of you, both physically and emotionally. So when we talk about this blockage, what blocks it are when you get a chakra blockage. Let's say I gossip all day. Okay. I feel a lump in my throat. I physically feel my throat. And that energy blockage, because now I'm pulling all this energy to it, that's all this little sand particles was going to create a clog. Well, what's that going to do? Well, I might get a sore throat. I might get some weird thyroid thing. I might, whatever else is related to that energy center. So, and that's where disease comes from. Disease is when your body is not well. And a well is a body of water that's potable and, healthy, viable water. That's what we are. We're a body of water. If our body of water is not well, it is not usable, then it's clogged. It's got to be cleared. How do you clear a well? We got to drain the crap, let go of the crap and the sediments. And that's what it is. It's the talking ill. It's the eating poor food, all that stuff. We know what we're supposed to do. I probably, I know that I shouldn't have 3 of these today. or, I had to switch I went from alcohol to mochas, and now I'm going to go from mochas to tea and tea to water. But every step, the butterfly doesn't just become a butterfly. It kind of sucks in that cocoon. And then imagine being in the cocoon and still holding on to it. A lot of people are holding on to a dead cocoon. The cocoon is done, and they're just like, they don't want to come out. So all this information is actually available to everyone.
Yeah.
All the information I have, everyone else has. I'm not more advanced in any way. I just have happened to read more and spend more time on it. But everyone has the same opportunity. It's about choice. Am I going to read this today, or am I going to watch Game of Thrones and finish my?
So good.
You know, what am I going to do? It is choice. So we determine everything about our experience is determined by our choice.
So good, Bianca. My gosh, I absolutely love what you're bringing. So Bianca, since you also teach a lot on frequency and sound and how you apply that to healing, and then you've created the tool that I would love for you to talk a little bit about that. Can you kind of incorporate, because people are like, okay, well, you know, this the Christos Anointing and then the sound, and how do you combine all of them and these portals and us? So how, you know, so people may be looking, going, oh my gosh, there's all these little things, but they all really work together. So
yes.
How do you involve that in this whole process?
And that's what I find myself really strong at, is connecting the dots. And that's really what we're doing. We're made of a bunch of dots, our acupuncture points, which are also called the chakras. They're just a bunch of acupuncture points. Instead of poking this with a needle, we're poking it with our thoughts. We're causing a vibration internally instead of with the metal, you know, with a pin. So when it comes to sound, let's go back to that well. Okay. So we're a well of water, body water. We are aware that we're 77% water, which is not true. 77% of our water weight, that's our water weight, because the rest is bones, muscles, whatever. But the bones and muscles are made of all water. Every single cell is 99% water. So we are actually 99% water. The reason why this is so important comes back to, what are we? If we are just a bunch of water, well, water is affected by waves, sound waves. The physical waves in our body of water is affected by sound waves. So what I do is I practice sound and vibration therapy. So you use sound, which causes a vibration. I mean, you can see this in the ocean. You can see this when you just, you know, get in the bathtub. You'll see the ripples. Every vibration affects the water. And so sound creates a vibration. Vibration affects the cells, which are restructured according to that vibration. Now, your body, when we're talking about chakras, right? Everything that vibrates, well, what happens when you vibrate a string on a guitar? Makes noise. Mm-hmm. So every part of your body is vibrating, meaning every part of your body is making a sound. Now, we don't hear it right now. We don't, but, you know, maybe eventually we do. Maybe on that level too, yes. We will. Right. So the word universe is universe, single song. Mm-hmm. Your universe is made up of your song. Whatever you play, whatever frequency you emit, this is your sound system. Your surround sound is the energy you put out, because that's what you're going to hear. Correct. The energy that is loudest to me is the energy that I put out. If I am speaking here, I'm going to hear myself because that's what's closest. Right. So everything you put out comes right back to you. It's called the torus. It's the apple core. It's the shape. So, and that's what they say, what you put out is what you get back. Literally, as you sow, so shall you reap. Everything you put out there is magnetically attracted to you because you're right there. Yeah. So whatever sound, so our body emits this sound, right? Our organs, of course, we're called instruments. Our organs produce these sounds. These sounds must be in harmony like a hormone. Okay. If the sounds are not in harmony, they just don't sound well. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, fingernails on a board, or we may have heard an orchestra and one or two it's out of tune. You can tell. Now, when it's out of tune, the whole orchestra doesn't fall apart, but it eventually could. What do you do when when the orchestra is off because of one person didn't flip the page? You don't shut down the whole band. You go to that violinist. Hey, tune your violin. Now it's fixed. Now it's producing the right notes. Mm-hmm. And all of the organs produce notes. So they've actually been documented. It's called, Dr. Raymond Royal Rife has documented Rife frequencies, over 4,000 in our body. Okay. And not only parts of the body, but different ailments, blockages have been documented. So what I do is I then have the sound that creates the vibration that restructures your cells back to what we call resonant frequency. Resonant frequency is the sound of creation. when you were in your womb, it probably sounded like a mechanical device.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we listen to ultrasounds and stuff, it sounds like a UFO or something like that. So we are mechanical devices being created with magnets and energy and electricity, and then we come out, and then we are formed. So what we're doing is we are reforming the cellular structure using vibrations caused by a sound wave. So when you go to a rock concert and you're going like this, because you feel like it, right? You just kind of headbang. You're not going to go like this. You're going to headbang. And when you're headbanging, it's because your entire body wants to sway to the music. Yeah. Your entire cell, every cell is also headbanging. Okay, think about that. Mm-hmm. So when you're listening to classical music, you're kind of, doing a little bit different. Well, guess what your cells are doing? The same exact thing. So everything that you listen to affects your vibration. And chaos brings chaos, and calm brings calm. So you are this body of water, a lake. And when we listen to a frequency that I have, that's what I do. It's kind of like dropping a pebble, and then you got the waves. Mm-hmm. Eventually the waves become part of the lake and they disappear. You resonate to the waves. You become part of that sound. The sound becomes part of you. It just becomes one and the same thing, because physically we're just being, the illusion is we're separate, but we're really, where does my sound wave end and where does yours start? Right? So we're all one, but we see each other as different because of the density. But that's how sound works. So you listen to sounds, causes a vibration. Vibration creates a cellular restructure, retunes your organs. Your organs are now playing the right notes. They're in harmony, and then you're better. You are just better. You're healthier. You are well. In fact, the word cure means of sound state, of sound mind and sound body. That's what it is. It's sound. It's, hey, we're taking a mental note. A note is a sound.
Yeah, it is.
Everything. It's our skin tone. A tone is about music. Everything's musical. I mean, we call them organs. Eardrums, heartbeat. We are literally an orchestra. So it's about making sure we're playing the right song and, dancing to our own rhythm. That's what it is.
Wow. I hope you guys are seeing how important it is for us to get the knowledge on these things that are now being brought to the surface in this age of apocalypse, which again, it's not about doom, gloom, destruction, unless you're creating that, because you are a powerful creator, but it's about the unveiling and the revealing of these kind of truths, you guys, that is not from the devil. It's not demonic. It is literally from Father, from Creator. It's the tools and the abilities that He's put in every single one of us to become who we are supposed to become. Get away from the drugs, the medication, get away from the pollution, get away from things that bring death, and step into the things that bring life, which is inside of you. Do you see how amazing you are made and created? Do you see the amazing abilities that are inside of you? When you get that, you don't have to run to every pharmacy to get every type of medication. Do you understand? That is what they want, because they want to bring destruction. They want to kill, steal, and destroy. And everything that Bianca is talking about, you guys, it's about life. It's about the realization of the power that's within you, of the life, of the ability to create that which is inside of you that will change the very atmosphere around you. Bianca, this is incredible. This is just absolutely
lasting life.
Everlasting life. Everlasting life. So I don't know, Karen, how many more minutes do we have? About 10 more minutes, right?
Yeah, we have 10 more minutes. But I wanted to ask Bianca too, about fasting on this.
Yes. So I do not fast, although I believe we are inherently built to be frugivores. A frugivore survives on fruits, nuts, and seeds. Mm. It's funny that our stomach, the way that what I've learned recently is our stomach eats food, right? When it digests, it doesn't take this food and give it to our spleen to create blood and do all the other stuff. Our stomach creates fuel. It creates gas. Now this fuel fuels the rest of our organs. Now guess what? This fuel is not just from our food and water. This fuel comes from our air, from our sun, from our earth, from our hugging the tree, from talking to our animals, from life itself. So fasting, I don't even know. I mean, the word breakfast is breaking your fast, because when you're sleeping, you're not eating, right? You're supposed to be digesting and restoring. Restoring meaning like putting all this memory back into your from your subconscious back to your conscious mind. So fasting is when you are abstaining from, clogging myths. I believe that it is very important. It's something that I need to do. Back to choice. I know I need to do it. I know that I don't need a breakfast muffin, that I can eat my pomegranate. So it's about choices. And fasting is a wonderful way to destroy parasites. There's a lot of current events about chemicals in the water, in the air. Fasting will force your organs to become healthier, because it not ingest, but basically it destroys the unnecessary first. It destroys the garbage in your body. And then now it's like, I think it's 3 days. If you do a 3-day fast, it's like a full restoration of your immune system. I haven't done it. I don't fast. But it's something that, I know is very beneficial. In fact, during this time right here, when I create this calendar, the 2 days before this drop date, I call it the drop date, is fasting, 100% fasting. And that's the recommendation for here. So.
Wow.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One more question, and Karen, if you have any more questions, I have a question for you, Bianca. There are certain people that they feel their the vibration of their frequency or their cells when they listen to certain type of music. What is your insight on that? Is that because there is, obviously we know that our body has a specific sound. So is there a correlation between the sound of a particular type of music and the way their DNA or the vibration of their being responds?
Yes. So have you ever listened to Gregorian chants?
Yes.
I mean, I listen to that. Like right now, I feel like I'm gonna start crying just talking about it. Okay. A Gregorian chant, it's the history of that is these angels, the Gregorian angels, that they did some wrongdoings and God punished them, sent them down to the bowels of the earth, and they're chained down there. Wow. And they're chanting. The Gregorian angels are chanting forever and trying to get back into the light. And oh my gosh. And that's why am I getting goosebumps? Why is my hair, which is connected to my nervous system connected to my subconscious, why is it reaching out? Because it's trying to connect. And so absolutely, all the music, you are turned on or turned off. Certain music, you're just like, oh my gosh, I cannot listen to this. Yeah. And then some music, you just start crying. Or certain tones. Our vocal cords are so much more powerful than I even am aware of. And chanting is something that we need to learn. Using our actual throat when we speak. I think that the English language is a lot more toned down than, I'm Filipino, I speak Tagalog. And when we speak, we're like, we are really intonating our tongue.
Yeah.
And you are using your tongue, you are flicking, you are making these movements, but then in English, you're going, so word, language, speech is so very important. How you enunciate your words. Slang is not something, curses. I mean, really think about it. You have the word, the power of the word to create. In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was sound, which is the breath. Breath created sound.
Yep.
And from this came light. That's us. And then there was matter. That's us.
Yes.
So I have sounds that target and trigger very specific parts of the body. And I use a machine that I was able to get to several years ago. So I do it in my wellness center. but then just recently being able to share that online through audio files. And that's what I do. And it's a lot of work because it's not just, hey, I'm going to create a sound clip. I have to teach people, what are you listening to? What is a resonant frequency? How does this work? And how can you enhance it? Well, affirmations would work. When you put your mind in a different state and you say, I am this, I am this, you are that.
Yes.
That you are. So it's not just, the sound's going to get you there, but it's got to be your mind. I'm not helping anyone, actually. I'm just providing the sound that is putting you in a state that is making you believe that you're healing yourself. You've got to do it. You've got to do the work.
Yeah.
You've got to use your mind to think yourself into a better state.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. Before I want you to share how people can get in contact with you, and just so they can learn more and be able to tap into what you offer to help them engage in it and heal themselves. Karen, do you have any other questions before Bianca shares?
No, I don't. We just have a couple more minutes, and I want her to share how they can connect with her, and then we'll talk about how to connect with us.
Yes, awesome. Bianca, go ahead.
So I have a website. It's called cymatones.com. Cyma, which is C-Y-M-A, is Greek for wave. So that's what we are. We're a wave. In fact, remember, we can change, move mountains with a wave of a hand. Because back then, when we were not blocked, we literally could use our wave to create an energetic change that would move mountains. Mm-hmm. And so Cyma, so I have cymatones.com, which is a site that you can either go to in-person therapy with me here in the Bay Area, but there's also virtual sound therapy, which is through my app called Cymatones, or a Google Drive called Cymatones. So the only way to get to it right now would be through those means. I'm actually working on a web platform. A lot of people in my audience, for one, they don't want to download an app. The reason why it's not on the App Store actually is because I don't want to have to request for unnecessary pieces of information. Yes. So I'm trying to get it really simple. I'm creating a web version because I want you to be able to get to it from anywhere. You don't need an app. You don't need any special tools. You don't really even need any special speakers. Now, my tool, I have a vibration machine, but you are the vibration machine. It's not your ears. It's not your eardrums. It's the hair in your ears. So the hair in your ears gets this vibration, and then it turns it into an electrical pulse into your brain. So that's how it works. So you're basically feeling it through your ear, feeling it with your feelers.
Wow. So they can contact you on your website. Then
they can go on cymatones.com on that website. And they can also follow me on my online platforms. I am on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok and YouTube. And very recently, I am on Rumble. I do a daily stream at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard. And this is where I share frequencies and I talk about what it is. So, for example, today, I'm going to be sharing, I'm going to continue on this topic. I'm going to talk about, the cerebral fluid and what can be done for this. But really, it's everything encompasses spirit. It's about the breath.
Yes.
What we didn't go into, which I think we're going to go into in our little Q&A later, is the actual process, the breath that moves this little golden drop of oil. So there's a little bit more in depth than we already went over.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so incredible. You guys, I know that you've been blessed by this. Karen, I know you want to share something before we let the people go, this audience. And then for those of you that choose, we will have another segment that is called Can You Handle the Truth, that we will have available for whosoever chooses to engage with that. So Karen, go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. Can you handle the truth? So if you want to handle the truth, you can join us over at the Patreon. There's a silver tier, which you can view shows before they air. And then there's the gold tier, which you will be able to see. Like today, Bianca's going to join us behind the scenes and share some deeper realms of what she's teaching today. So be sure to go there. It's for the Quest of Truth on Patreon. You can join us also, the Quest for Truth on Facebook. And we're getting ready to work on very shortly a website for Corina, where we want to have a one-stop shop too to reach what we're doing out there. But join us on the Facebook page of the group, The Quest for Truth. We'd love to have you join in, and we're just building a community that really wants to learn what the truth is and gets unstuck, as Bianca says, get unstuck, and just learn some things that are going to really change your whole journey. So that's all I have for now.
Yes, this is wonderful. Bianca, thank you so much for being here with us. I so appreciate everything. Every time you come, you just pour out with so much love, all this revelation that literally when people, if they choose to apply it, they will see shifts, transformations that brings about changes. So thank you for being with us, Bianca. I so appreciate that. Both Karen and I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Thank you. I always love being on your show, and I'm very excited to go behind the scenes because there's more. There's more.
There's more.
Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for being here with us. I know that you were blessed. Again, if you were stretched, that's great, because you need to be stretched to break outside the confines. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please choose to be chosen for the things that are inside of you, that nobody can do it but you. So choose to be chosen and transform from the inside out. Until next time, we bless you guys. We love you, and have an awesome and blessed day. Bye-bye.